Thank God we are related to emergency issues. I will start my question from there. We are in the field of medical science. Very important field, isn't it? Very, very important field. Any little error, what will be the end result? Is there any remedy? Is there any remedy? Death. Can we bring back the dead? But if the car engine knocks by mistake, the mechanic makes a mistake and knocks the car engine, he can still resuscitate it, isn't it? They will change what? They will change one part, they change the ring, and the engine will start working again. Now, in emergency here, I want to ask a question. When emergency situation comes, sir, can you tell me what ought to be your first response in your field? I want to know, sir. Oh man, anybody? Anyone? When emergency comes in, you know the type of emergency you are used to. When it comes in, what is based on the rules of the job? What should be the first response, sir? Someone is pointing on me.
I think the first thing is to raise an alarm.
Okay, I mean in your field, I'm talking of your medicals. Like, they brought in somebody now, maybe an accident victim. Out there, that's what I'm saying.
Everybody.
The first response that you are going to carry out. An ambulance drove in now with a victim.
I think the first aid boss should be the very first thing. You have the person out.
But you don't even know what is happening. You don't even know what happens to that person.
Still need to find out who else wants to contribute.
You need to find out, sir. You do your what? Investigation. You see, why I'm saying this is that there is no every emergency. There is somewhere I'm going somewhere. Are you getting me? I'm going somewhere. Okay, let me leave your field, sir. As security officer, the question is for you this time around. Maybe you can help us out. As a trained security officer, your role is to protect this building, to protect the staffs and the building, right, from any aggressors. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, you are on duty right now. You are here. All of a sudden, we hear somebody running to tell us that there are people protesting outside. They are walking. They are coming in. Protesters are coming in with placards, with arms, protesting. They want to come and protest it. Are you getting me? You don't even know why they are here. You don't know what they are protesting. As a security officer, right now where you are, what will be your first response to that emergency? They rush in now. They call you. Yes, sir.
My name is Isibo Joseph.
Yes, sir.
In such a situation where such information gets to me,
Yeah.
what we do, we have to send a signal to those at the gate. In the first place, they have to lock the gate.
That's what I want to hear. Thank you very much, sir. Don't go further. The first thing is to what? Lock the gate. You don't know their mission. You don't know whatever. You don't need to know all those things. The first response should be what? To lock the gate, to secure, to make sure your properties are well secured. And that is that. So now, the same thing goes to fire. We'll know what fire is all about next. Now, fire is part of emergency situation. Because of time, what is fire? What is fire to you, sir? Man. What is fire to you? Mommy, talk. Let me hear you well now. Let everybody hear you well.
Fire is a disaster that nobody would like to experience.
Okay. Mommy, no food for you today. Yes. Maybe fire is a disaster. No food. I agree. I know argue, but no food for you.
Another contribution, please.
Now, fire is a friend. Fire is what? It's a friend, and at the same time, an enemy. Let's look at the beautiful side of fire. Fire is a friend. You can see without fire we cannot eat. We can't eat our food raw, isn't it? We can't take them raw. Now, the ACs are on. Why coming in? Okay, let them put up the AC. Will you be comfortable here? No, it's the work of fire. The lightning, if they put off the whole light now, you say, why everywhere gone dark like this? Are you getting me? You will not be comfortable. You will not like it. All is the part of the beauty of fire. But let's look at fire from mommy's angle. Next. Fire from your own angle. But it's like this one, you look at fire from negativity. Do you have any experience about fire? You have that experience before. We don't pray, but you should what? Play your own part. Fire victims are never given the second chance to correct themselves. Are you with me? Fire victims never have second chance to correct themselves. No matter what, you go with it and die with it. It damages your properties. Your farmland are destroyed. We understand the economic impact. I think the guy there's one guy that was assisted by MTN. I don't know, we do see the advert. I don't know if you see that advert. But whatever they are doing to the guy, can they bring back the body to the normal self? No. So fire victims never have the right, any opportunity to correct their wrongs. Now let's look at the definition of fire. Fire results from a chemical reaction between fuel and oxygen in the presence of heat. Fire is a chemical reaction that results between fuel and oxygen in the presence of heat, which means variably these three things combine together. That rapid combination of fuel, heat, and oxygen produces what we call fire, either the good one or the negative one, either for a positive reason or a negative reason. Probably if you want to cook, the same fire is the same fire that destroys. But these three things must be together. If one is missing, the fire will not exist. Neither will the fire come to life. Your matches is an example. When you strike your matches and it fails to bring out the fire, one of the elements is what? Missing. That is what it means. You have your paper and your stick, that is the fuel. Then you have oxygen around. The process of rubbing, when you try to strike, you are trying to generate what? Heat. So if the required heat has not been attained, the fire will not what? Come up. That is when you strike, you say this match is not light. It's because the heat level has not been achieved. So these three things combine together to produce fire. And in firefighting, we call it triangle of fire. The combination of the three is known as triangle of fire, and it's in its early stage. We call it the incipient stage. That is the baby stage of the fire. No fire starts big. Every fire you see big doesn't start big. Nobody was born big among us here. We are all born baby. Am I right? We are all born baby before we become big the way we are. So fire is the same. Fire also was generated from a very lower stage. Next. Now let's look at the three elements, one after the other. I said fuel, heat, and oxygen are the elements that combine together. Mommy, hello? She don't go. Okay, please let me. Sorry, See fire there your phone though. Okay. Don't worry, I'll ask you a question. No. So sources of fuel. Fuel is a free burning material. Fuel is what? A free burning material. Any combustible material that have the tendency to burn is known as fuel. Any combustible material that have the tendency to burn is known as what? Fuel. And we have it in three forms: solid form, liquid form, and gaseous form. Solid form, we have example: paper, wood, nylon, clothes, human being. Then we have the liquid form: paper, kerosene, petrol. This is just to mention a few. Our paints, your fleets, they are examples of liquid fuel or liquefied fuel. We have the gaseous fuel, your butane, your acetylene, your methane, propane, and oxygen. Hydrogen gas. That is your industrial gases. These three forms of fuel are one of the elements of fire. Now, if I may ask a question, I need Among these three forms, which one do you feel is the most dangerous when it's on fire?
Gas.
Hello, sir. The mic. I want the answer. Because sir, we said the gas. Okay. Why do you choose gas, sir? Why do you choose gas? Okay.
Somebody else wants to talk.
Okay.
We choose gas because gas is the highly inflammable product we have among the three.
Okay. All right. Because of time factor, we have asked more questions. All right, let's go ahead. Now, gas is the most dangerous. It's most what? Dangerous. Reason is because for every fuel to burn, they must be in the gaseous state. This paper cannot burn without being in the gaseous state. If you observe when you burn your paper, you observe 3 stages on the paper when you pull the paper out without a complete burning. The whitish end, then there will be something like the blackish end. After black, something like ash. That ash stage, that is where the fire burns. That is the gaseous form of the fuel. Are you with me, sir? So let's take a look at one of the dangerous implications of gas. Next. Okay. Before then, let's look at the other elements. Source of heat. Source of heat, to complement the elements, we can get it from naked electrical wires, have natural atmospheric air, welding work, during sparks. All these are examples. Source of oxygen, natural air. You can get it from there. Industrial gases. The medical gases are also one of them. But there's one beautiful thing about these elements. Like I said, no fire survives without oxygen. Same thing like we human beings. Is there anybody that can live without oxygen for 5 minutes? No. No fire can also survive without oxygen for a few minutes. So now let's take a look next. Let's look at this is the source of ignition. By the time these two elements combine together, all it requires is what? A spark. We call it sources of ignition. Once you get that, fire takes off. We'll see some video briefly on that. Next. Now we talked about fire. I said every fire starts small. What are the characteristics of those fires? For you to know that the fire is starting small. Flames are small and not as wide spread. That is the fire at the early stage when it's just starting. For you to be able to be assured that you can handle it effectively. Smokes has not reduced visibility in the vicinity. The vicinity is still a little bit clearer. People in the area can still escape without too much challenge. That is the fire still at the early stage. The heat of the fire is relatively low. It's still what? Relatable. The smoke alarm can sound alarm and raise the alarm effectively. Now this is the early stage. Now before any fire will go away from this early stage, depending on the nature of the material, it's going to take minimum of 5 minutes. So now imagine when the fire starts, or you hear there is a fire burned down a whole building. Imagine all things that are there. Definitely the people in the building are what? Careless. They did not discover the fire early enough. Let's take a look at next. Time factor. I don't want us to see the early stage of the fire. What I mean briefly. Now this is a video showing us. This is a fire. This fire starts. Okay, the timer is not showing. Look at how fire starts. Every fire starts at this level. Are you getting me? Now it's going to take minimum, depending on the nature, minimum 5 minutes or 10 minutes, less. But how cool people around will not be able to discover that fire until the fire has consumed or has trapped them. So it shows carelessness on our part. Before this scout will caught fire, is going to take a minimum of 5-10 minutes. Are you getting me? The alarm is sounding. Though I'm not giving much time. Let's go to the next. Now let's look at what are causes of fire. What are causes of fire? Next, let's see causes of fire. Common causes of fire. In firefighting, we classify causes of fire into 3 categories. Carelessness, willful act, sometimes known as arson and accident. The accident I'm talking about here is not human error. Activities of God, the Creator. Nobody can question God. The activities of God on earth that leads to fire is what we know as accident in fire profession. Every other thing is carelessness. I don't have the knowledge. I am not aware. He didn't tell me. It's not an excuse. Are you with me? It's not an excuse. That is under carelessness. Children play with matches on naked fire. Don't keep matches very close to your children. A lot of us, we overlook, we downgrade that side. Remember that the children we have these days, their network is like 20 gig compared to our own when we were born. Are you with me, man? Don't underestimate that your 1 year old child. I'm not even talking of 5, 10. 1 year old child, don't underestimate what he or she can do. They are very, very intelligent. Their brain is magnetic. Whatever they see you doing, you think they are not observing you. Sometimes they pretend as if they are even doing their own. It's a lie. They are learning everything, they are grabbing everything. Don't be surprised one day you will not be there. Or the moment you just, your attention is being shifted. The next thing you see is that you observe that your child is doing everything you are doing. Even less than a year old child, if you give them phone these days, what do they do with the phone? Are they not supposed to put it in their mouth? They, even without phone, you see them doing their hand like this. Allah? What do they know about phone? But they see you people, each time you hold that thing, you put it here. Each time you hold it, you put it here. So you know something, you are doing something with that. So we need to be very careful with our children. Mostly children of this, they are computer children. So don't doubt them. I think it's going to a year now. Everybody in the supermarket at VI would have been raised down by a 9-year-old child. She didn't do she's not a terrorist. I don't know if you heard about that news then. It's going to a year now. The child went to the pen. She has to go there, pick lighter, because she saw cylinder. Never knew those cylinders were empty cylinder, gas cylinders. She want to light it, she want to experiment it. It's in the news. The CCTV camera carried her. I have the video, but we don't have time. I would have showed you how the girl, for you to know. She was like monitoring everything. She picked the lighter from the stand, go to the what is it called, the cylinder side and every other thing. She light it up and now move away. Are you getting me? So please don't underestimate our children. Misuse of electricity or our cooking gas. Nobody's using stove again, Abi. Is anybody using stove here? Do we have people making use of stove? We don't have. Everybody's upgraded, Abi. You are upgraded to gas. If I ask you the rules and regulation of gas now, many people don't know. Should I ask? Or we all know? Okay, we don't come up for this. I say, okay, kerosene costs more. You are using gas. Do you understand the rules? Are you playing by the rules? Sir, are you playing by the rules of the gas? Okay. All right, sir. I just want to confirm something. Sir, the mic, sir, are you playing by the rules of the gas? The usage of the gas? Yes. Yes, sure, sir. Okay, let's have the mic. Sorry, sir. I just need 2 minutes. 2 questions out of all the questions. Sir, take the mic. You play by the rules, sir. Okay, now let me ask a question. Your gas cylinder, the one you are using at home, can you tell me when it's going to expire?
I'm not too sure.
You are not too sure. And you are playing by the rules, sir. That's a very good one. Your gas cylinder, where do you have it located? Is it in the kitchen or outside? In the kitchen. And you are not playing by the rules, sir. Clap for yourself, sir. You are playing by the rules. So let's watch. Let's go. Let's go. You are playing by the rule. No be Nigeria. Next slide. Because look at. Let's watch this video. Play it. Next. Just next. As if you want to next. Okay. So now I don't wanted to see this. The next slide briefly. Now, for you to know that the whites are more safety conscious than us, look at what we have here. This is a gas cylinder with safety valve. You have the one without safety valve, and there is fire. Fire is around there. It can happen in your home. Look at the valve. Temporary and permanent valve is situated or attached to the cylinder. The other one is not having. Now it's being heated up. You know what it means. Watch. The heating, this other one doesn't have. This one how? When the heat is getting too much, the pressure keeps increasing. Isn't it? This is the gas content. It's coming out. Instead of what? Exploding. Are you getting it? Instead of the cylinder to explode under that condition of fire. Look at the other one. It explodes completely. Your gas cylinder, do you have that safety valve? I'm not sure. Next. Now, arson or willful act. That's the third causes of fire. Enmity, destroying evidence. Those are the reasons behind such. Defrauding insurance companies. Political opponents, during politics, we all know we are in the era of that. We are going to have a lot of fire under arson. We've already started having. Am I right? 2 incidents have happened just last 2 weeks. Abeokuta and Osun. So this is the beginning. So arson fire will be more. These are the seasons. Terrorism and insurgency. When a bandit comes around, or Boko Haram, after killing or even kidnapping, what do? They burn down the remaining properties. That fire that they show in TV, that fire is what? Arson fire. When we do it in our report. Next. Classifications of fire. We are going to classify fire according to the British standard. Class A, B, C, D. Class A fires are fires involving free burning materials, paper, wood, nylon. Class B are fires involving liquid. For Class A, water is the best extinguishing agent. The use of water. Class B requires CO2, chemical foam, dried chemical powder. Class C are fires involving gas. Like I told you, no method of fighting fire, gaseous fire. The best is what? Prevention. So you need to prevent. But in a small scale, you can apply CO2 or dry chemical powder. Next. Class D are fires involving metal components, metal products like our fan, our AC, your TV, your laptops. Are you getting me? Your tires, they are examples. But they come with poisonous fume that do causes what? Cancer of any kind. For those of us that are freely inhale tires, where they are burning tires, it's very dangerous. Don't see it as the same smoke that is coming out from paper or wood fire. Then Class E, we have the fires like margarine. That is according to some Asian classification. Electrical fire do not fall on any of this class. I'm giving us the British classification. That is why we are on this. Why it is because electrical fires are fires that involve solid materials, but they are under what? The control of electricity. Now you cannot apply water like you apply to them in Class A, because we apply water. Water is a good conductor of electricity, so current will flow along and one will be what? Electrocuted. So you don't apply water at that stage, except the source of current is being shut down. That's when you can apply water. But if you are unable to, you can't apply water. Next. So you apply the normal dry chemical powder, CO2, sharp sand to fight such fire. Fire preventions are under this. Education, training, the things we are going on with. This type of training we are having is under fire prevention. What we're having is fire prevention. Next. Next. You said what? Hold on for question.
I think before moving to the next step, we talk about how to prevent fire from electrical source.
Yes.
You mentioned CO2, forgetting that most of our people here are not science inclined. Therefore, you need to explain what CO2 is all about and how it can be gotten anytime there's fire outbreak. CO2, to the best of my knowledge, I think is carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide extinguisher. Okay, sir. Okay, all right, sir. When we talk about CO2, I'm talking about the fire extinguisher, sir. You can, I said on a small scale, you can apply dry chemical powder. We call it DCP. That is the cylinder, the fire extinguisher cylinder that contains dry chemical powder. We also have the one that contains CO2. That is carbon 4 oxide. You can apply that. on the fire. You see it written on the cylinder, CO2, that is carbon 4 oxide. You can apply it, it's human friendly. You can apply it on it. At the same time, you can also use your blanket. Like I said, on a small scale, you wrap the content away. Then, for your gas, okay, I think we'll get there. So that fire protection involves the firefighting equipment that you have with you. Fire extinguishers, I think we all know about that. We have your smoke detector, your fire blanket, your fire engine. Do you have fire engine? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Why, sir? This place is big enough. Then you have your hose reel being installed. Now the fire extinguisher is there, very, very common. The smoke detector will detect the fire, raise alarm, and at the same time, we have the sprinkler system that does the same thing. Raise alarm, detect the fire, and fight the fire by discharging the water content. Next. Now, what is fire extinction? Fire extinction, what is fire extinction to us? Quench fire, Abi? Put up fire. What is fire to you, sir? Man, I know to many of us, fire extinction is off the fire, quench the fire. Now, the professional term is what? Fire extinction. Fire extinction involves what? Fighting or putting up the fire each time you want to. Remember, we said fire is a combination of fuel, heat, and oxygen, right? And the two burn if one of them is what? Missing. If you remember, I talked about that. Extinguishing fire, therefore, means depriving it of one or two of the elements, either the heat or the oxygen or the fuel side of it. You deprive it. And in depriving that, we have three methods. Cooling. When you apply water, when you use water to fight fire, what you are doing in that process professionally is what? Cooling. You are absorbing the heat away from the fire, the heat side of it, so that the heat will not give the fuel the strength, the energy to keep producing the gaseous vapor that will burn in the fire. It will not allow you to supply more fuel. That's what it means. Smoothing or limitation of oxygen. When you apply blanketing, for example, when we cook at home, our mummies are more common with that. We've all cooked and our frying caught fire, isn't it? And who among us have not experienced that? Everybody? Nobody? I don't know which one to follow. You have experienced it. Okay, what is yours? What step did you take, man?
You cover the pots.
Okay. To cover the pots. That's very. Why did you cover the pots?
So that the fire will not come up. You try to use the cover.
To cover. What you block there is what? Oxygen. That is smoothing. When you cover that, what you did very clearly is what? Smoothing. You smother the fire of oxygen. You strangle the fire. You don't want to take oxygen away from human being, you strangle, isn't it? When you strangle, you are preventing oxygen from going to the system. That's a good one. Then the last one is starvation. Starve, hunger. You know, if you want to win a strong man, the best thing is make sure the person did not eat. That power will get, it will finish. You will be weak, isn't it? So the same thing goes for fire. If fire is burning, just remove other free body materials away from the fire. Let whatever it sees around, that few one that is around, let it burn off. After burning off, the fire will die what? A natural death. Next. So what actions are you to take in case of fire? If there is fire, what are the actions we have to take? Like we said, if there is fire, the first thing to do when you discover smoke or fire is what? You can raise alarm. Why do you raise alarm? To alert other people, so that people can be trapped, and at the same time, people can come and join you. Because the fire you see, don't play with fire. When they say fire traps, okay, if there is still time, my boss can permit me, I will show you a video of a mobile fire station. How fire trapped a fireman. Fire can trap. People that died in fire, it's not that they wish to. They are trapped. Fire has a way of trapping. If it doesn't use the smoke to trap you, it uses itself to block the source, and you won't be able to have the courage to go through it. Except you have the knowledge. You can go through it if you have the knowledge. That's if you have your fire blanket. So the actions to take in case of fire, first thing is to what? Raise alarm. Don't run. No. If there's fire now, I know the people at the front will run better than those people at the back. Everybody wants to escape at the same time, isn't it? Yes, but nobody wants die. Don't run. Don't japa. That's what he's saying. Because that is in your mind. Many of us want to run, want to japa. Don't run. Raise alarm. You don't even know what is pursuing you. Raise alarm. After raising alarm, then you try and observe what is happening for you to know the right step to take. But in the process of running, you might even get yourself injured without the fire having any impact on you. So that raise means rescue, raise alarm, confine. Are you getting me? Evacuate and extinguish. That should be what is in your mind. Not for you to raise. I want to raise, I want to run. Where are you running to? If you run away, what happens to the property? What happens to the rest? Next. Other actions. Further actions are what? After raising alarm, leave the building as quickly as possible. Leave the building as quickly as possible. Don't wait to pick anything except what you have in your hand. And whatever you have in your hand, if it's too heavy, that will disturb your movement, drop it. Are you with me? If your phone is too heavy for you at that moment, drop the phone. Am I right? If your phone is too heavy, drop it. Oh. But that phone, if it's one that will affect your life, drop it. Don't say you want to pick it. Our mommy, that your jewelry pack. Don't wait to pick it. Oh. That they just supply you in the office. Fire go burn out. You want to pick it. As long as it's not with you when going out, don't go back inside. Leave and for God. Are you with me? Leave and for God. Now another thing is that when you are trapped in fire, what you need to do is what? It's not fire that kills, it is smoke. It's smoke that kills, not what? Not the fire. That smoke is the weapon fire is using against us. By the time a little fire from this paper, just this paper I'm holding now, if I light it up now and put it on the floor, before it burns half, the whole of this place will be filled with smoke. Am I right? When you're coming in, you think the whole place is on fire. It's a lie. It's a gimmick from fire. He's using that smoke to scare you away so that he can what? Gain balance. He knows that the smoke will block your vision, and at the same time, it absorbs the oxygen in you. You will be able to breathe. So, but one funny thing is that smoke is lighter than air. From this level, when smoke is developing, it's going up to the roof. It's lighter than air. So from this level down, you will see fresh air. So make sure your movement is what? Is below. Make sure your movement is below. Are you with me? But the problem that we have is most of the times when there's fire, people that died in fire easily are people that when there's fire, you see them running around, standing and shouting, help me, fire. They are running around in the smoke. They are inhaling the smoke. Before you know it, the smoke will absorb all the oxygen in them and they will be weak. They will be one place. Fire will now come from where it is. Fire is just coming. Fire will now come gradually. If now 1 2 or 1 finger I can start from, will not start from. And the person will be alive, seeing it. Fire death is the painful one. Prevention is better than what? Cure. So please, let us do the needful. And when you are trapped or on fire, don't apply water. And don't run. Like I said, don't run. Make such person, don't allow the person to run. Make such person to what? To go down. Tell the person to what? Roll on the floor. Because the more you run, you are inviting more oxygen. You are doing what? You are inviting more oxygen and the fire will grow faster, stronger and bigger within few seconds or minutes. And it will burn deep into the body. All you need to do is what? Make sure your movement is what? Below. and roll on the floor. If the person refuses to roll, right, you can use dry clothes. Dry one. Beat the fire wherever the fire is on the body. Be beating the fire. We call it beating. By the time you beat the fire will be off. Then the person will be taken care of. Are you with me? Then in case of fire, don't go through the elevator. Don't make use of the lifts. Am I correct? Don't use any electronics door. They are fancy doors. Once there is fire, don't make attempt. But there's one thing about this brain. If there's emergency, if there is fear, the brain will not function well. Am I right, sir? We are all medical people. The brain will not function forward. The knowledge, no more incoming knowledge. All what you have there is what will be put to play. The brain will now be scanning to look for solution. It will not seek solution outside. So when it happens that way, if there is nothing in the brain, that's when you see people taking the wrong step. When there is fire, when people shout fire, fire, you see people running, some will jump. After everybody have escaped, when you ask your neighbor, man, but how come you get this place? Somebody I know that cannot run. He will tell you, I don't know. Say, your leg fast, so how come you run? To that with that speed, say, I don't know. He said, I don't know, I just run. Then you develop the strength to run. Are you with me? So please, all you have to do is what? To be safe and play by the rules. Then assemble at the muster point. Hope we all know our muster point here. Where is our muster point? It's far. But even if there is a muster point or you don't know, you can still assemble close to the gate to take roll call. That is the aim of assembling at the muster point. Next. Now let's look at this fire extinguisher. It's a very, very common one. The closest friend to us and the worst enemy to fire is fire extinguisher. Do you agree with me? The worst enemy to fire, negative fire, enemy fire is what? Extinguisher. Once fire see extinguisher, he knows it's gone. But the challenge we have is that many of us don't know how to use it. Some don't even care to have it. The only place I can, if I ask like 10 people now, even let me say 90% of us here don't have fire extinguisher at home. Am I right? Or am I wrong? 90% don't have at home. But we have in our cars. Abi? You have in your car. The same fire extinguisher you're supposed to have at home, you have in. Why do you have in your car? Road safety. You are not afraid of fire service. You are not afraid of fire. You are afraid of road safety. It's not fire break. It's because of road safety. You are afraid of road safety. You don't want road safety wahala. Isn't it? That is just it. You are not afraid of fire. Road safety don't know anything about fire. You bring it to them just for them to know. Now let me give us an instance. If there is car fire, there is fire in your car. The source of car fire are basically two. If it's not from electrical source supply, it will be from fuel supply system, isn't it? Now when there is fire, Lagosians, we love us, we can help ourselves, even though we don't like ourselves, but once there is danger, people say, go and bring omo, go and bring sand, everybody will be pouring water. Now, I don't know if you have observed, there are some car fire that, after a while they are pouring that, the fire will do what? Explode. That type of fire, are fire that the source of the fire is from the fuel supply. Either one of the hose that is supplying the fuel cut off, or there is leakage, and when the engine has worked, everywhere is hot, the dropping of the fuel will now lead to that fire, and the fuel is still dropping. Now when you apply the detergents that they are applying, the best you can apply is if you apply sand or you apply foam, our chemical foam, but they mistake our chemical foam for detergent. They will mix detergent in water. We call it improvise. It does the job 10%, but 90% it fails you. What it does is that it can put out the fire, but the fire will not what? Will not be off. The fire will be flowing on the water, on the detergent water. Once it flows into the fuel chamber, either the injector chamber or anywhere that you have small chamber where there is storage of fuel, that's when the car will explode, and that is the end of the car. So, but to avoid such, You don't need to bother yourself. You don't even need people to help you. Both novice and professional, they will help you when your car is on fire. You don't need them. You have your fire extinguisher. Learn how to use it. Once you discover smoke or somebody call you outside, oh God, you want to burn, you want to burn. Pick your fire extinguisher. Don't worry. Before they get to you, pick the fire extinguisher. Go to your exhaust. The exhaust pipe, you know exhaust, where smoke used to come out. Take the fire extinguisher. Put it there. Discharge everything. Are you with me? Discharge everything. The moment you discharge it, the powder will go through the exhaust pipe and come out at the surface of the engine, and the fire will die a natural death within a few seconds or minutes. You don't need people to come and pour water, pour gutter water, pour sand, whatever in your car. Am I talking? Am I making sense?
Yes.
Do you know about that before?
Yeah.
Or you clap for me now? Clap for me, you don't teach you. For people will clap, and people will get motor. And then clap. So let's look at fire extinguisher. We have 4 types of fire extinguisher. The one that contains water, we have the one that contains CO2 and dry chemical powder. Now, powder, water is almost phased out because it does the job but creates more additional damage. Dry chemical powder are used to fight class A, class B, class C, we call it multipurpose fire. Now, water, phased out like I said. Foam are used to fight liquid or liquefied fire like your petrol, your kerosene, your groundnut oil when they are on fire. Then you have your CO2, can also be used to fight class B, class C fires, but not too effective in class A, and not so much effective in outdoor fire. If you use it outdoor, atmospheric air will affect the working capacity. Dry chemical powder is more effective outside, but inside CO2 is more effective and human friendly. If you inhale dry chemical powder, it's going to bring choking. Asthmatic patients will be triggered, isn't it? So you have negative impact. But when you use it outside, the atmospheric air will assist in pulling it off. And if using fire extinguisher, there's an acronym. Okay, these are the usage. Water, you use it for class ABC. Go use it for liquid fires. Now you use it for electrical fires. Next. That's CO2. Next. I've talked about it. Next. That's chemical powder for class A. Next is good. So these are their usage. But now let's go to the next slide. Please. Now this is a car fire. This is a car supply fuel source of fire on the car. Look at the firemen, they are applying water. You see what I talked about water? They were supposed to add foam, chemical foam, not detergent. Do you see what happens? Because the water now drove the fire into the fuel chamber. It might be from the tank or from the, look at it now. Do you see how the thing follow the water? The water they have been using. See, the fireman is on fire. Next, just for us to know, you add foam, chemical foam onto it. Now, using fire extinguisher, there's an acronym that will assist us. PASS. PASS. P-A-S-S. P means remember to pull the pin. There's a safety pin on it. Remember to pull it. We are going to see it in the practical section. Remember to pull the pin. A, aim the nozzle at the base. Aim the flame on the base of the fire. Don't aim the flame. If you aim the flame, the fire will attack you. Please, let's take note. The first says squeeze. Once you squeeze until the fire is no more. Don't squeeze and release your hand. If you squeeze and keep releasing your hand, you are giving the fire time to regain some energy by regaining oxygen. It's just like these wrestlers. You know the way they do. You are beating somebody who already winning, just for you to lie down on the person and let them count 1, 2, 3. You leave it to go to the crowd. He begin climb there. They say, hail me, hail me. What will happen to the other one? That man is what? Regaining strength. By the time he comes, that one will just what? Attack. That is what fire does. When you squeeze and release your hand, you squeeze and you didn't release your hand, the fire will be regaining strength. The fire will now say, okay, they do am. By the time you finish the content, fire will now say, oh yeah, what again? Then fire will now what? Attack. So squeeze until the fire is no more. The last S, sweep. Because you have a limited content. You sweep so that you cover up the little content. But we have them in sizes from 1 kg, the one in your car, to 100 kg. 1 kg, 2, 3, 5, just like that. Next. Any question? Or any work? They are free. I got the mic.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for listening to us. We have to just give some insight about this fire issue that my boy have just said to you. You know, we said that fire is our friend and also our enemy. We have to give you one hint that happened sometimes ago, almost 6 years ago. My God told you that when there's fire in your environment, please don't go for any valuable property that you have in office or in your house. Reason is that your life is so important more than the property. This issue happened at PI around 3 or 4 years ago. Well, a lady came to the office in the morning with 2 shoes, one Italian shoe, one Nigerian shoe. And that 50 day, she came down to Ghana to have chat to her friend. And she left the Italian shoe in her office, came down with a Nigerian shoe. Fortunately, there was fire at 6th floor of the building. We are being called that here for the fire incident. And this lady was at the ground floor. And she said, "What want to go and collect her shoe up here at the 4th floor." They told the girl, "Don't go there." I said, "No, this shoe cost a lot of money. You want to go there and rescue, collect her shoe." They even had not to go there, but she left to collect the shoe at the 4th floor. The fire was at 6th floor. But the lady was very lucky. The way we went there, before the fire, and we exit the fire. But during the roll call at the motor point, they didn't see the girl at the motor point. They asked, "Where is this lady?" They said she left to rescue her shoe at the 4th floor. We went to rescue and search. We saw a lady with her shoe at the 4th floor beside her desk. Smoke killed the girl. She didn't die of fire, she died of smoke. What I mean that when there's fire in any environment by yourself, please go save your life first before any property. If fire officers, your certificate, your money, everything that's not in fire, we are able to get it back for you, but you won't give back your life. Your certificate bought in fire. Come to us, we give you paper that let you get your certificate back. You have money bought in fire, you can see after the money, go to CPN, which I will report, they give anything you lost in the fire back, but nobody can give you your life back. Every time there's fire, please, first thing, run for your life. And as we said that, when there's fire, go to raise alarm. Raise alarm in the general language. What I mean is that when there's fire in your environment, as we have Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba in any offices in Nigeria here. When there's fire, say, I'm Yoruba, say, maybe your neighbor is Igbo man. You didn't know what is, you don't know what to mean. That you thought it can be injured by fire, or didn't know what to do, didn't know how to escape the fire. But start fire to make sure everybody is being rescued. And when there's fire, he said that you should go down on your knee. Go down on your knee. You can crawl like a baby to the exit. You have to know the exit point of every building where you find yourself. And before you open any door of the building, make sure you touch the handle of the door. If the handle of the door is being eaten up, don't open that door. You know why? There's fire behind the door. And the door that contain the fire outside there, and open the door before you push you back to inside. Am I communicating, sir, ma'am? And when you want to open the door, make sure you fetch your way out of the building by the back of your palm. How do I mean? You see what the fire, naked wire around. And when you touch naked wire with your palm, it will magnet it. You can't go anywhere. But you touch it your back of the palm. According to our research, you just flip it off. That's the dangerous area. You have to divert attention to the another side to make sure you escape from the fire. Other issue that there's a chapter like 2 weeks, the fire Latin area there. What caused the fire? A woman in the kitchen was cooking with the gas. He saw cockroach in the kitchen. He carried inside this late just to feed the kitchen explosion. He brought the man to emergency hospital here last Tuesday. That means that any time in your kitchen, please don't use rate inside your kitchen where you are cooking gas. And now, you have our brother that time say, you adapt to the rules of cooking gas at home. You are failed already because the law of cooking gas in the whole world is that cylinder of cooking gas must be outside the kitchen while the burner inside the kitchen. You can't install the burner and cylinder together in the kitchen. Why? When there's fire, there's no way for you to shut off the control of the gas to the kitchen. That means that you are sitting in a time bomb. It can happen at any time. That's why you have to be self conscious in your environment. Make sure the cylinder, the gas cylinder, is not installed inside the kitchen. It must be separated. Am I communicating? Other one that many people, okay, like yesterday now, that started this World Cup now. And I think many people in Nigeria didn't know, but he knows. When you're watching ball, you have to any movies. The fight in your gen about to finish. Don't go down and rush to refill it when the gen is on. It's time bomb. But I've been trying it for years, it will not happen. You don't know when it's happening. Make sure you put off your gen before you fill it. Either diesel or petrol generator. Make sure you put off your gen before you fill it. Even kerosene stove at house. Maybe you are cooking in the kitchen and your kids are about to finish. You just open that burner to put kerosene there. It's dangerous mission. Make sure you off the stove before you put fuel. And now you are talking about different education at that time. We didn't mention this one to you. You know you have curtail, water, CO2, foam, and dry powder. That's why we have phased out water and foam out of market now. This is that we are professionals, we know how to use water to fight fire, but you are not professional. Maybe the transformer is on fire now, you go down to water, that means that you are going there on suicide mission. Because you go there and you don't come back alive. Why? Water and electricity, they are enemy. You can't use water to fight electrical fire. What we use is either dry powder or CO2. They're ever ready, they can't shock you, they can't harm you. Am I communicating, sir? Don't use water to fight electrical fire. And also, when you have maybe at house, your petrol is on fire, don't ever use, maybe at kitchen, you are frying the kitchen and your cooking oil is on fire. Don't use water to fight that fire. It causes explosion. You can use cover or blanket to put on the fire. Don't apply water or any oil fire. It will spread the fire and cause explosion. Thank you and God bless you. Any questions, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me start by appreciating you, sir. And our lecturer, he has done very well. Please let us put our hands together. I will say that. When he was lecturing, he said car fire occurs in two ways, either through the source of fuel or electrical method. I want to know what is the best way to stop it.
Okay, sir. The best way, you are driving on the highway. You are driving on the highway. You know Lagosian now, you are in danger. Why? Every highway now, they have all this normal, they spread away all the sand on the highway. So far, if your car is on fire on the highway, don't rely on sand. You can't find any sand on the highway in the Lagos area now. Am I communicating? What you rely upon is your fire extinguishers. And fire extinguisher you have for your car. After checking your oil in the morning, make sure you check it that it's working condition. What that means that some people have that car, you didn't check it. If that arrow is below the green on 0, you are having a toy inside your car. You can't walk. It must be on green all the time. And don't allow road safety to take it for you. Am I communicating? Hello, sir. Hello, ma. You know road safety, they have a way of, they are not officers. They are just looking for money on their own. That's just before they are not, they don't have fire. I have a friend traveling to Ibadan at Ogiredia. They said if I just, the big that now, it's working condition on green. They said take it now. With confidence, they press it there. Full, the thing work. They say okay, you are free, you can go. So if I go gate, they stop again there. Take it, it didn't work again. The ticketing, 4,000 naira. You cost it. Overconfidence cost it. Am I communicating? As far as that arrow is on green, don't allow any officers, either police or road safety, to take it for you. Because you just press it once, under 3 hours or 2 hours, it can't work again. That's why it used only once. Am I communicating? Don't take it for anybody, either police or anybody, don't take it for them. I want to find on the highway. He said that oxygen is combustion. I told you, without oxygen, there's no fire. When the fire is highway in your car, don't rush to open the bonnet of your car. Don't let the fire, don't rush. Open the bonnet. Wow. Open the bonnet. The breeze that blows to the engine, or the fire with the engine. Before you say, hey, I'm look for execution, the fire be growing bigger. What you do? Just lift up the bonnet. Open gently. Look for fire extinguisher. Make sure it's in working condition. Am I communicating? Just open gently. Don't open fully. You can't go to the exhaust. Just open gently the engine bonnet and just spray it there and close it back. And bend under 2 seconds before it goes up. So far, oxygen is supplied to the seat of the fire. But at times, maybe the fire there and that engine bonnet, the cable will be cut. You are trying to open it, you can open again. You can go to the exhaust as he told you. You can exhaust, pass the message to the fire and surely obey the message. Am I communicating? And now the other is that when there is fire on your body, don't run with the fire on your body. You know, I told before, fire didn't expect anybody. I'm a fire see my hand. It was fire that burned my hands. But through the method we are being taught when we are in training, it saved my life. When you find your body on fire, don't run with your body on fire. What do? You fall down the ground and roll. After rolling the ground, the fire will go off by itself without hurting you much. Thank you. Any question again?
Any other question? Yes, sir. Hold on, sir.
We appreciate by lighting the lecture. Really, I've enjoyed it very much. But during your talk, you mentioned that you want to water to quench electric fire. But the idea you can use also use sand. Sand.
Thank you, sir. You can use only dry sand, or dry powder, or carbon dioxide. It's only water that didn't like electricity. or they have a way to put out the power supply to the fire. You are able to use anything to put up. Please, I want to tell you something, sir. Sir, in your office every day, before you left the office in the afternoon, make sure you put up AC gadget in your office or at home. If your laptop, make sure you unplug it to avoid power surge. When the AC or the laptop, only fridge and freezer are allowed to permanent on electricity. The other ones, like your fan, your TV, don't put on standby. Make sure it be off or unplugged. You can never bring high voltage. It will backfire and cause fire in your environment. Thank you. God bless you.
But my own question is out of your program this morning. My experience this hotline, I want you to ask, have your condition of service improved? Because as your condition of service improved, because there was an incident in this hotline about 7 to 10 years ago. One of our building was burning. Apin land. You are aware. But your response then is your building was totally nearly on the ground. And your response was poor. Have you improved on that, sir?
Thank you, sir. You know, you have problem with our service. Sir, I'll shoot now, sir. You have a phone number on your phone. Can you call faster direct? You have a number on your phone. Hey, sir, a question, sir.
I don't have it. But my boss, let me answer you.
Yes, sir.
My boss, the president register, call you. I don't of us know the agility of our boss. The man was running up and down the register.
Okay.
He was running up and down. Fire services, and then we know your office very close here. And under 10 minutes, we'll be here.
And
more than 2 hours.
And thank you, sir. You know, we have problem in fact, we have problem in Nigeria. Oh, when there's fire, we didn't call matters in time. People rescue before they call fire service. They call me that day. Immediately I followed them for Jolegba. You go to Jolegba now. Jolegba to come here. It can take less than 30 to go the whole job there. And some car owners, we had our terrain. They say where they go in Panapana, they won't give us road. Have you aware it? You aware it? No, that vehicle we cannot carry. Say just jump and come. After that day, after the call, I went to our station there. After them come down here. We are the first fire engine that they are here. They don't say that building is plant building, not block building. No, that plant building can't wait for her to come. Say let them come before I go. You continue do damage. Later we call Lagos State. We call NNPC for FII. In fact, the other day, there are more than 8. You believe? But before we come now, you say this Rankapo building, to fire their effect dangerous. Everyone that enter plant, we said with the wrong of that fire. But all we usually do that to make sure it is intent. Just tap it for being going to the order that our mission. If fire happen here now, don't pass our level. You just look, we play. But we don't allow you to go to the other building there. That's our mission. Sorry for that, sir. I was there like that day. And next time,
okay, sir.
My question is on safety valve. Like the video we watched, one of the gas cylinder has safety valve, the other one does not. So how do we now install it maybe in a cylinder that does not have, like the ones we have at home, we don't have it? Or is there specifically cylinder that it comes with?
That issue, as if your defender that says cylinders, they don't write bone for every property. Just tell them, you want to have a valve. It will cost higher than the one in our valve. But people go to lesser price because they're from Nigeria. They go to them, they take the right bone to your environment.
All right, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mayode Robert. The question I want to ask is about our mobile handset. You know, because for my children, wherever they go, they carry it along. Most of them, when they are cooking, their handsets are with them. So I want you to help me confirm or refute the claim that this set can explode while cooking.
Thank you, sir. This issue, I went to a lecture somewhere, a broad argument between the people and we that we fire officers. You know, we are firemen. You two go to internet to get facts. That said, handsets should not be used in the filling station, in the gas station, and the kitchen where we are cooking because of the geography and the radioactivity of the. But I can't confirm to you. But when you two add it, you are aware about everything. You are not able to use as a sample for other people. Sir, do you get my point, sir? I don't want you to use you as a sample. Say, you show from so that time. You know you are aware about it, don't stop it, don't use it. But me, I can't confirm to you, I can't deny it confirm because I never see it before. But only go and say that don't use that rate, I saw it for myself. That's why I'm saying that I answered for now, I can't confirm, I can't deny it. But so when you are aware, just be cautious about how to use it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. The picture you showed us about the cylinder and the valve, it was a bit confusing. If valve is releasing gas, what are the fire around? What will happen?
Sir, the gas, that was said that if the gas is outside the building, sir.
Okay.
And the gas is leaking out to the air, it's safer. If it's a throat, if you pull out the building down. You get my point, sir?
Okay.
Cylinder is top, not his kitchen, after the kitchen. You get my point, sir? When the valve release the gas to the air, it goes to the air. But when it's connected and confined, it's a throat, and the whole building comes down with the gas, sir. That's why cylinder must be after the kitchen, not inside the kitchen. I can't tell you to put your cylinder inside the kitchen. I can't tell you. For my own safety conscious, cylinder must be after the kitchen, while burner must be inside the kitchen for safety purpose, sir.
On a lighter note, sir, have you heard of Holy Ghost fire?
Yes, sir. I remember, sir.
So how do you quench that one?
Now God. Sir, but you have the aspect of the training. We are setting the fire now. Everybody will come outside to put the fire. You know how we do the fire.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to use this opportunity to appreciate our invitee and the management that gave us this opportunity. I know we had it once when Obiaje was on ground, and yes, we did. And this could be the second time. Sir, I don't know if this number can be confirmed to be genuine, because I have an experience last year. It would have been a big Christmas for everybody. A neighborhood house caught fire. Nobody knows the source. I call your office.
Which number?
I don't know any of them. I've lost my seat now before I retrieve it. I call your office at Itire Road, if you can remember, if you were there. I was not accessible. Then I called police. Oloso was able to get people at Toyota. I tell you to appreciate you, even there are some loopholes. Within another 30 minutes, you people arrived. I don't know how you managed to navigate. That was around mid-morning, around 1 or 2. I tell you, that house was rescued up to 1/3. However, that there have been a damage. If it has crossed there, all of us would have gotten inflamed because our own building, it just small that fence that differentiates. Itire Road here, opposite Morgan bus stop. Okay. You can understand. I bet you that particular place, we got more than 2 or 3 trucks. One from our side, one at the back. So I pray that you people will improve in this good work. Maybe we will not have problem on fire outbreak.
Thank you.
Any other questions, please? Before we move on right now. Do you have any question?
All we have been saying is prevention. In case, if maybe you are cooking and there's gas explode or incidents of gas, how do you now try to escape from it or even to stop the fire?
Ma, I've told you before, I want under of safety. Gas cylinder will be outside the kitchen. The burner inside the kitchen. That chemicals you are using at home is not advisable. It's for picnics, for beach. But because the economy of Nigeria, that's why people just buy those 2 kg, put something on top. I told that it's time bomb. If they pay for it to happen, it happen, only God can save somebody that person's life. But if you have your gas cylinder outside the kitchen, you are safe. But what to you to do? Run outside the kitchen, try to control there. The gas foam, you see from to the burner inside the kitchen. You can use any method, other water, other blanket, other foam to call this. Quite good, but if two of them at the kitchen, only God will save you, sir. I can't assure you of safety of that one. Thank you. God bless you.
I will agree with you totally. Because the majority of us who live in Bethany and Slappers, we have 3 kg, 6 kg, and we put it somewhere. And please try to enlighten us what we can do to protect ourselves.
I want standard of safety.
Standard.
I want safety standards. The cylinder must be outside the kitchen. Why the burner inside the kitchen? Sir, I thought that it's a time bomb. It can explode at any time. Only God attention you need. Because you can't be inside the hello sir. When the fire in the kitchen now, it's definitely okay. Let me tell you what's happening, sir. You are killing all our staff, Lagos State Fire Officer for Kenya. The fire is out there. None of the gas cylinder was very close to where it was fighting fire. It shall explode. It killed fireman. I won't lie to you. That was the only good intervention. But if the cylinder outside the kitchen, the allow this be safe because the breeze there, we can carry the gas away. But in the kitchen, the oil building will foam with the gas. Any small thing like this, explosion will have occurred there. That's why in the morning, about you are using gas in the morning, before you cook in the morning, make sure you ventilate your environment. Open all the windows down. Before you open, that's your matches. Because the leakage of gas in the night, you didn't know. I can't pass it odor. I thought that matches, I just had a episode, boom. That in the morning, make sure you open all the windows down. Let the gas go out before you start cooking in the morning. Thank you, God bless you.
So my coming here is to radicalize what we have learned there. I know there will be a lot of questions, but we are not in the position to start arguing with one another. We are here to learn from one another. Your interaction and my contribution, your contributions goes a long way to enrich our knowledge. Because there is no island of knowledge. We learn from one another. However, we've mentioned so far the importance of all this equipment. And these 2 equipment we are looking at are not to fight fire that is out of control. They are mainly meant to fight fire that at what? The CPS stage, like he has rightly mentioned. And my name is Abayomi Ajayi. I work with Federal Fire Service as well. So these things are to fight fire when they are so small. Anything out of control, please don't go and play hero. You are not a fireman, you are not a Spider-Man that enter fire. You are to do what? Run for your life. Once the fire is out of control, please don't go there and say that I want to show how my chest is big. Run for your life. It's very, very important. They are meant to fight fire at initial stage. And once it's out of control, please run. Like for example, that we are going to do fire.
which means this thing can still handle such fire. If the fire is as big as this amount, you can use it to put it off. Now, we have two types of extinguishers here. We have dry chemical powder and CO2. Now, there is something that I want to draw your attention to. Okay, wait a minute. There's something I want you to draw your attention to. You see, there are color riots. When we are now talking about the British standard color for all these things, there has been a lot of changes in color of all this equipment. This is supposed to be in sky blue. This blue that we are, or lagoon blue, whatever blue you want to, is supposed to be the real color of the cylinder. But this is the normal color for this one. But if eventually you have seen that some of it, like the one we have inside, this thing is a red color, but supposed to be in black color if you have to follow the color standard. But there's something you need to identify it. They always carry what we call big mouth. And that mouth is called discharge on. Discharge on. If this thing is not there, please don't ever, I'm warning, please, extremely cautious. If this thing, like I'm detaching it now, if it's not attached to this thing, don't ever operate this extinguisher, because I ended up in the hospital. Immediately you operate it, it sweep itself like this. Any part of your body that this thing hits, you're on your own. That's why they provide or produce this discharge on. This one can still be used. They are not as powerful as this one, but this one has its own side effect as well. You made mention of something earlier on. It's environmental friendly. CO2, carbon dioxide, is environmental friendly anywhere, anyhow. You can use it time and time again, but this one, once I operate it, you can use another day. It mentioned under 3 hours, the gas is expelled. Now, having said that, he made mention of 3 methods of extinction. Can anybody remind me? I forgot it. Stabbing. I want them to. I just want them to measure so that they know. Cooling, stabbing, and smoothing. Those 3 methods are one way or the other the method we use in fighting fire most. You can remember any one of them any day. Let's take for example an apartment is on fire and you run out for your life. What should you do? Close the door behind you. You are reducing what? The oxygen of the combustion. Extremely important, except a building that has a lot of holes, like these blocks we are looking at. That's when you cannot stop the fire from the oxygen, because there will be more constant supply of oxygen through the holes in the building. So, having said that, without making you taking much of the time, saying this course we are just looking at is 7 days or 3 weeks course that we have compressed to how many seconds? Just 2 or 3 hours. It's a 7 days course or 2 weeks course maximum. It's an we call it first aid fire fighting. Now, in operating this thing, you have to look for your own safety as well. Hello. If this thing is always hanged on the wall, why do we hang it? To prevent corrosion. Because most of you can see some of the other, if they are placed on the bare floor, they start corroding, and at the end of the day, they start leaking. It can cause explosion as well. But you must look out for your own safety. If you want to operate it, it must be either by your side, if you are on the right hand side, or left hand side, you are a lefty or righty, either of the two. But don't put it in between your legs. In the process of running, you know, definitely it will be, the whole of your body is working with it. And if this thing should hit your ankle or your knee, you become a victim as well. So, but if it hits your side leg like this, you can still walk. Because of the flesh here, you may not be affected. But if it hits your ankle or your knee, alone, God will protect you. Like the Holy Ghost fire the house earlier on. So, you must do what? Put it by your side. And let's take for example, the fire is over there and this thing is here. You must run, don't carry it up, because you use your energy to lift it up. And at the same time, run with the energy, you have exhausted your energy. So, by the time you put it sideways, you can run faster and at the same time achieve your result. So, you can stop the fire. Now, mommy, don't run, please. It's very important. In fact, what we are going to do, women are going to fight the fire. Why? Because women use fire a lot. Women cook a lot in the kitchen and they are exposed to fire a lot. So by the time you experience and feel this, it will build up your courage. That's the most important thing. It will build up your courage. We have seen some men that run for fire. But if you are a woman, like your Bible says, come for the ratio, go in the bar. So this is fire blanket. Like there's a lady that said he used what we to cover fire in the kitchen. So this is the same thing fire blanket does. You can see how black it is. We have been using it to demonstrate for a long time. I'm going to use it as my own protector as well. I use it to cover myself when I'm using it to fight fire. Because immediately the fire, you can see, it looks like there is no breeze now. But immediately that fire is set up, breeze will come from nowhere to support the combustion. So in so doing, I will cover myself with it and at the same time back the wind. I won't face the wind. If I face the wind will be blowing the flame towards me. But if I back the wind, I'll be able to achieve my result. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, you are communicating.
So, how do you want to carry this
And you see it now. That's what they are about to show us.
We are not supposed to be afraid of fire anymore.
You are not backing it.
No, you back the direction of the wind direction.
Face me, but now something is under control. You can see it's facing me, but I still must do what? I still must put it up.
The direction of the wind, you go behind. What it means is that if the wind is blowing the fire towards you, you go from the back. You don't face it. If you go to the front, it's difficult. The fire can want to, but if you go to the back.
You can see, that's just 1 minute. What does the blanket does there?
It stops the oxygen. Oxygen.
What's the name of, what's that name? Stabbing. Not stabbing. Elimination of oxygen. That's the simple way. You can see once one of the three components that constitute fire is removed, the fire will rise up. Oxygen, fuel, or heat. How can you eliminate heat? Who can answer the question? How can you eliminate heat? You have answered water, you are right. By applying water, either cold water or what. If your body is on temperature, you enter AC room, what happens to your body?
It will go down.
Temperature, that's elimination of temperature. At least you are getting one thing or the other. You should be able to apply it in your daily. If you are cooking in the kitchen, ensure there's enough what? Ventilation.
This blanket, is it a special blanket or any
Special specially manufactured for fire. That doesn't mean it cannot burn. Don't get me wrong. But it lasts long as it's working.
If you don't have this in the house,
get it, buy it.
Where can we get it?
So well on your blankets, your normal blanket at home. But your provided you can have the opportunity to get it. So, but you don't solve this. Who can remind me the code for operating fire extinguisher? Pass. Thank you very much. P is what? P is what? Pull the pin. Pull the pin.
Yes, sir.
See, I did not throw the pin away.
Sorry, sir.
Wait, so pull the pin again.
That pin.
Pin. Safety pin. Pull the pin. What we saw there, at least all of us are still together, not so. operating this, one of the things I said earlier on was that it's environmental friendly. We are still together. But if I should operate the other one, so the pin that I put is to prevent accidental discharge. I can press, at least I'm pressing it now. It's not operating, but immediately I remove it. So you can see, I accidentally press it, that is the key. But as long as this pin is there, it prevents accidental discharge. And you will observe one thing, when I remove it, instead of me throwing it away, I heard onto it. There is a provision made for it that it is supposed to be hooked. Immediately you remove it, it will be dangling on the floor. Because they know the importance of this small gadget.
This is the type you have in your car.
It's all fine. This is the type we have.
Dry chemical powder.
This is the type we have. It's activation.
This color, it is inside the house. You may not see it. This one is not visible.
That is why I told them to follow riot. I want to try to
Small house.
I want a volunteer to come and help this thing.
You said a woman should do it. Encourage her, encourage madam. Hey! What a man can do, a woman can do better. Come on, this.
This one's better. If you use that one now, everybody will do Attention, please. What she did is completely wrong. Why did I say it wrong? Who can tell me the case? And it's supposed not to be on the floor. You lift it up so I can get it up. As long as you are with this thing, it creates one confidence in you that fire cannot burn you. As long as you are with it. That's the confidence it is. That's the handle.
Ìjẹ̀jà, ó máa ṣe dáadáa.
Yes.
Oh, see, we are no it's okay. We are no set here.
I want you to do something. You will see the color. Attention, please. You will see the color is almost the same color. No color. Nothing is wrong with the content. Go and look at it. The color of the water is still remain the same. But immediately we apply this one. That is why you cannot use this one in your kitchen. Don't ever use this powder in your kitchen.
No, you can use.
I get incorrect. Don't use it on your food.
Okay.
Hello. He says something that it can choke person. That's it. But it's very, very good on fire. All classes of fire. You can use this on the dark chemical powder. But don't use it on your food, please. It's very, very effective. But this one, you can use, spray it in the kitchen, you can still consume your food.
As my guy told you that you apply to a kitchen. You know, as get a human being, you get on fire. Do you believe me? there's a fire, you cannot near the fire again.
Yes.
You have to go bigger. And this one, you cannot near the fire, you can't fight the fire. You apply this one now, you can go as far as that door there. You apply this one now, you can't go, you can't mother that sit down there. This control the flow of it. And for you to lose your food, I told you to lose your whole building. Which one do you prefer? Yes? So, inside this one, if I want to full stop on, just go fast more, apply this one, I bet you all that 2 seconds, everything will come down. But you just pop in there to bump the area, all the food attend to the kitchen, you just is still there. Finish. Thank you, God bless you. See now. My you want to try it, Baba?
Fire is there. All of you are there. One is delay. The fire is started.
No, beside you, by your side, either left or right. Not in between your legs.
By your side.
By your side.
Fire!
That's the power you have in your car.
When you charge it, this one is more powerful than that one. Have you seen now? Yeah, one extra time.